people will feel one way or the other about this topic, but we're talking about phones. And before we started recording, we were texting back and forth about the UFO situation going on in New Jersey right now. We're literally recording in your house in the woods of New Jersey, where there's been the hot spot of UFO drone sightings going on. And if you've been living under a rock the last couple weeks, there have been hundreds, I'm sure thousands of videos at this point submitted by civilians, some by commercial pilots, military pilots. It's not just New Jersey. I think there are sightings out in LA, Ohio. Like,
New
it's
York.
become New York, a widespread thing of anything from like orbs to drones the size of cars,
Yeah.
where I've heard people speak on this through podcasts and press conferences that are high level military people that are involved in military aviation, that have seen like the biggest baddest shit that the United States has, at least that we're like open about, which is like F-16s, F-35s. Like people that are familiar with these capabilities and have even flown these things, that there are people high up in military aviation saying these drones or these UAPs are doing maneuvers that currently defy what the United States military is able to do. They are coming from the ocean, a lot of them,
Yeah.
from miles and miles out, and we're not able to track them, which is insane because just like a hobbyist drone, there's a signal from the launcher of the drone. There's a signature that every drone has, that if someone's like, if it's some teenager in a yard is like launching a drone and it's near a military facility, there'll be a car outside your house in 20
Right.
minutes. Like,
Right.
we know you, like, we obviously track this back to you through the signature. There's no heat signature on a lot of these drones, which normally, with the sort of propulsion on a drone, like there, you could see some sort of like electronic heat signature. Apparently, that's not existent on a lot of these sightings. So there's a lot of shit. Drones that are like staying still in 120 knots of wind, like not even swaying. It's like the wind isn't even there, and they're just perfectly still. What the hell is going on
In New
in New
Jersey.
Jersey?
Yeah.
Because you've had actual sightings, like you've seen these
Oh,
outside your house.
yeah, yeah. So the whole thing is fucking crazy because I'm a natural skeptic. So, when I first heard, the rumors about the drones, I'm like, no fucking way. Like, this is bullshit. And then it all started when my wife was taking a nap on the couch and I came downstairs and she was like perked up, like, holy shit. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, there's fucking drones outside. I'm like, no fucking way. She's like, I will show you. So she like grabbed me, pulled me outside, and we're looking up. And I was like, holy fucking shit. We saw three drones, right? Probably, I'm going to say maybe 100 feet up.
How do you know they were 100 feet? Were you like
I
holding your hand up to kind of like
dude,
gauge
I
it,
have
or
no, again, I'm just a
just like,
writer.
okay, just a
I
guess?
it could fucking A, man, it could have been 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
But, all I'm saying, it was
It didn't look like a plane. It was like
no, no, it
much
was
lower than that.
discernible
Okay.
where so
Could see features on it
the
and stuff.
one drone is going up and down like this, right? And moving all around. It's not a fucking plane, it's moving
Can you
erratic.
use words to describe what you're doing with your hands? Because people, no, seriously, just because people are listening that may
Okay.
not know.
So it's popping up and down. It's undulating. There's a hot verb right there. And it's
Love it.
moving up and down. It's spinning around in circles. It's flying back and forth. It's moving erratic. It's not an aircraft. It's not a plane. Like it's some strange shit moving around. Then there's two drones beside it, and they are like the one is flying all the way down to the one end of the sky. Then it's flipping back, coming back the other way, And I'm sitting there and I'm like trying to convince myself this is not happening, but I'm like, you can't deny
What
this.
do you mean when you say to one end of the sky? Was it, like, going all the way to the
So
horizon?
it was in my vantage point, it's flying down towards the end of the block, and then it's turning around and flying back the other way, and then it's doing the same thing the other way, and then the one, you know, adjacent to it is going around in circles and popping up and down, and it's just like this fucking circus in the sky, and I'm like, "What the fuck is
Yeah.
going on?"
Could you see any acceleration, or was it just
Yes.
go you could
Oh, yeah, man,
okay, so it wasn't
and
just,
it's
like, like, instantly appearing in a
no, no,
place,
no, it
like,
is.
you could see a clear acceleration?
Yeah, yeah, is flying back and forth, like, no joke, where I'm just like, "I can't believe what I'm actually seeing right now."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that would make you say that this does not seem like earthly drone technology, or could it be like a teenager fucking with you that's, like, flying a drone back and forth just as fast as it would go?
I I honestly don't I don't know, man. I don't know enough about drones,
Yeah.
to really say that. Um, I know that there was another instance where I was pissing out, I have a gym on my property. I was taking a leak outside, and, I heard like a buzzing sound, and I'm thinking to myself, "Oh, I must have turned the heat on," and then I look up, and there's a thing the size of a fucking, like, car just
Really?
idling, where I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" And I, like, try to run back in to grab my phone, I come back, and I can see the thing is gone, but it's maybe 40 feet down into the woods,
Mm,
and it's just hovering up above, where I'm just like, "I have a gun, like, should I go shoot this thing?"
yeah.
And, like, I actually texted my neighbor because he's a cop. I'm like, "Hey, dude, can I shoot these fucking drones or whatnot?" He's like, "No, man, don't shoot those things. It's gonna be a big fucking you're gonna get in trouble." And he's
Did the cops say why? Because you couldn't you technically shoot someone who's flying a drone over your property? Or it's not someone, but shoot the drone that's in your
not in
property?
Jersey, man. So
Really?
what he said is like, if you shoot that thing, you don't know if it's gonna shoot back. He's like, "We don't like, from what I can tell you, nobody really knows what this is." He's like, "So you don't want to engage with that thing where it could shoot back at you. If you do shoot it, you don't know where it's going to crash into somebody's house. So like the protocol now is like to call and report it, but like what the fuck is that going to do?
Yeah.
Like, hey, there's a drone over my property. They're not going to come out and fucking
Yeah.
bother."
So when you say the size of a car, are you talking an SUV? Are you talking, like what I'm driving a
Yeah,
Nissan Altima
sedan. Yeah,
sedan? Okay.
yeah.
And where was it in relation to you in the parking lot?
Well, so it was like hovering above, like, like just trees, where I'm like just in complete disbelief, where I'm like, is this like, for a split second, I'm like, is this some sort of joke? Is that a like a pinata or something? Like,
Yeah.
you don't think that there's an aircraft hovering
Yeah.
above.
Is it like 1,000 feet? Is it like 30 feet above you?
It's not 1,000 feet. It
Okay.
was much closer. It
Okay.
was much closer than the other ones that.
So like in the tree line. So it could be like
Yeah.
30
Yeah.
feet away, 50 feet away,
Yes.
something,
Yes.
something around that.
It was close enough where I'm like, I'm gonna get my phone, I'm gonna get footage of this, and by the time I came back, the thing was gone.
Close enough to make you feel like you could shoot it and like
Close enough to be
relatively
like,
accurately.
yeah, to like where I'm like, I think I need to shoot this. I don't know. Like the whole thing is so strange,
Yeah.
man. It really is, and it makes you wonder, like, if they're not being honest, it's got to be some sort of distraction, or like the fact that they can't give you information on this is so fucking strange.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, it was close to some base or some government building. Like they tell you in a fucking instant what this was.
Yeah. Was there anything that you saw, like, you know how sometimes you'll see something and you'll just clock it as like that's weird, like that, maybe I'm seeing something wrong because I don't know things in the world that are known to move like that. Like if I saw a car all of a sudden just like rise up from the street and then come back down, I'd be like, "Wait, what the fuck?" Like I must have missed it, like go over a ramp or something or a speed bump. Was there anything that you saw the drone do where you're like, even if you don't know that much about drones, that you weren't, it just like struck you as strange.
Well, the thing that was strange is it was idling.
Mm,
It wasn't moving, so it's like, what is it doing right here? Like, is it trying to look at my land or my gym or something? But I mean, the thing is that I saw it. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I went to get my camera. So then I'm like, wait a minute, did it see me? Did it move? Because you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
so I don't know, man.
And it
It's,
moved right when you went to go get your phone.
I mean, what it was idling, and I'm like, I need to go get footage of this. So I
Yeah,
ran back in. I had to be gone 8 seconds because the gym was right there. I grabbed my phone, came back, and the thing was all the way down there, idling again.
yeah,
And it's dark and it's snowy out. I'm like, should I run back there? I'm like, nah, what
yeah.
am I gonna do? So
Did it have lights on it?
this one did not, it had like a very subtle light on it.
Hmm.
It wasn't like the ones before that I saw in the sky that you could really see. Like I saw red, like yellow, and then I saw a blue light on the one.
Okay.
Like the other ones had prominent lights. This one not so much.
Okay.
Yeah,
So if you were further away from your house, you would.
I don't think you would have saw.
You, okay, and this was like 6:30 at night. You were telling me
Yeah,
like
like
the
6:30.
sun's pretty much down by then in
Yeah,
the winter.
yeah,
So the second uh or this sighting outside your gym, it's almost like this drone was trying to go undiscovered, as opposed to the other
yeah.
ones you've seen that have these flashing, green, blue light. I've seen lights of all different colors in the photos, but this one just had like a very subtle light that may have been like a camera light or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, but it was big. It was
The
huge.
size of a
It
car.
was really big.
Yeah.
I was like, "What
That
the
would
fuck,
freak me the
man?"
fuck out.
Yeah, man. I'm like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
And dude, like, you know, you all your mind races with like, "Well, what do I do? Like, I have a family here. Like, I can't defend my property. Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck?" So, part of me is like I have my gun loaded right now, like ready to go in a
Yeah.
safe. Like I'm not fucking around. Like,
Yeah.
like that's another thing about, being a father. It's like, you have to be a protector. So I'm like, they're gonna tell me I can't shoot these things down. But I'm like, if a thing is like right over my property and there's more than one of them, like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just let this shit happen all the time,
That's big enough to carry a
Yeah.
payload or weapons. You have no
Yeah.
idea what it's going to do.
No idea what this shit is, man.
Did you feel any energy or anything? I know that's like a fucking, what do you call it? Like a rinky dink topic. Like some people describe feeling like energies coming from
Yeah.
certain UAP sightings. Do you remember any sort of feeling coming over you besides the feeling of what the fuck is this shit and wanting to protect your family? Was there any sort of like energy you were getting from this
No,
thing?
no, I was mostly just like I need to get this on film because nobody's gonna believe that this shit was this close.
Yeah.
And like I said, it had like this low humming noise. So I mean, I don't know, I couldn't really see like how it was propelling. It was dark, but it was like a big fucking apparatus floating where I'm like, I need to get this on camera,
Yeah.
you know?
Was it directly over your gym or was it sort of in the driveway
No, so
area?
it was like in between. So like here's the gym and I'm taking a leak here and I hear like a humming noise. So I'm thinking it's the gym and I just gradually look up and I look to my left and it's like over into the distance here, just like hovering, just floating there.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, what the fuck? Like I literally yelled it out loud, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
you know? Like, yeah, it was it's fucking strange, man.
Have other neighbors reported seeing similar shit, like when you talk to the cop or
I talked to
anyone else on
him,
the
he
block?
hasn't seen it. So at first he's like, "Oh no, they're just aircraft carriers." I'm like, "Dude, no, they're not."
Aircraft carriers?
Yeah, he's just like they're airplanes and stuff. He's like, "Download this app. It like lets you know like what planes are floating overhead."
A plane 30 feet?
Well,
Or
no, it
like,
wasn't until I told him about the first
okay.
instance, and he's like, "Oh, you should just download the app. Like it, most of them are planes and stuff." I'm like,
Yeah.
All right, man." And then I told him about this, and I'm like, "Dude, this wasn't a plane. This wasn't a plane." And then he's just like, "Oh shit." He's like, "I'm hearing a lot more about it." sending me articles and stuff about like, you know, the one of the one of the state senators in New Jersey came out and was like, it's Iran or something like that. It's like a foreign entity.
Yeah.
Like everybody at
Some,
this
like,
point.
Iranian ship launching the drones.
So there was something where it's like all the drones look to be appearing from off the ocean,
Yeah.
and then they return every night and stuff like that. And like yeah, at some point you could go down an algorithm, you could go down a conspiracy, and
Yeah.
at that point I'm like, fucking a, there's so many different possibilities of what this could
Yeah.
be.
But it's wild because our military would easily be able to track the drones.
Right.
Drones can only go so far on a single charge. Would we not notice a submarine or an aircraft carrier that's captured? Like they'd have to surface to recapture these drones, or there'd be like some huge carrier sitting out there on the coast of New Jersey. Like the military is just going to let that happen. So
I don't know.
it's like the not being able to track it part to me
Right.
is the
Super
freakiest.
suspicious though
Yeah.
that they can't do that. It's like, really?
Yeah, because they either know exactly what it is, which I'd almost prefer, or
Right.
the United States military cannot track a simple drone that's overhead in someone's yard in New Jersey.
Yeah. And if it's UFOs, man, like I just hope they come here today and they can abduct you and probe you and give you the royal treatment.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for.